Hi, I'm Esther Ha, executive chef of Momofuku Ko, and I'm going to walk you through how to make the classic Ko egg. So you've got a soft-boiled egg, there's an onion soubise, which we'll get to later, some crispy fingerling potato chips, some fiend herbs, and a sweet potato vinegar called benimusu. And then to tie it all together is ossetra caviar. I'd say it's pretty easy to make a plate of it. I think it's hard to make a perfect plate. The egg could be slightly overcooked, slightly undercooked. The chips could be slightly crispier than you want it to be. The onion soubise could be browned instead of being perfectly white. The benimusu could be just not thick enough to sit on the plate. It's all in the details. So first step here is to soft boil the eggs. We're gonna drop these into boiling water for 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So we boil it for 4 minutes and 45 seconds to just get the perfect soft boiled egg, set egg whites, and a nice runny egg yolk. Ko egg's been around since the beginning of the tasting menu, since old Ko. Dave always said that every good tasting menu had a egg and caviar dish on it, so this is Ko's take on it. So it's been 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Take the eggs out and shock them in an ice bath. The ice bath will help it stop cooking. Pro tip to peeling eggs is to actually put them back into warm water so that the protein between the shell and the egg whites actually loosens back up. As a komi or a prep cook, it's how you would start off your morning. You'd be boiling eggs, waiting for them. Then you'd have a hotel pan just full of boiled eggs waiting to be peeled. You're more likely gonna push that off to the side because it's not the most exciting project to do. And then end your day peeling those eggs. So when we do this here, we always look for a perfect side. If there are any blemishes like a cracked tip, this will go straight to family meal. So next we're gonna do the onion soubise. Soubise is a classic French sauce. It's typically a white onion puree. So if you look at the onion, the outer rings are all pretty even in thickness. And then you get closer to the eye and it becomes pretty variable. So in order to maintain consistency for the knife cut, we'll use just the outer rings. It typically ends up being the outer 4. It represents a bunch of things that we believe is at the ethos of our kitchen, of being disciplined, being consistent in the product that you produce, and being able to follow directions. All right, so once you have your onions cut, we're gonna season them, just a bit of kosher salt. Pop a lid on it, let them cook out. The salt will help draw out the moisture from the onions and it'll naturally just steam in its own juices. You definitely don't want to build color. You also don't want to keep opening it up because it'll draw out the moisture and let the steam out of the pot. So just be patient with the onions. Okay, so while the onions are going, we're gonna slice the fingerling potatoes for the chips. Yeah, we use fingerling potatoes. They're the perfect size for the little potato chips for the dish. So I'm just looking for the right thickness. This part is also pretty important. It'll make the difference of how they fry and how it eats. So I'm gonna slice these into water so that the potatoes don't oxidize. Every now and then I give it a 45-degree turn just so that they stay constant, because you're naturally going to want to press to one side of the potato. So I'm going to rinse this in cold water and just draw out all the starch. So we're going to take the onions that have steamed out and emulsify a bit of butter into it. And keep up the butter so that it speeds up the process. I'm looking to see if the butter is emulsifying. As it emulsifies, it's gonna tighten up. So if it looks like it's splitting like this, you can actually just bring it back by adding a spit of water. When I say splitting, it means the fat and the solids separate because there's too much heat. So adding the water back in actually helps it re-emulsify, and you can see it thicken up here. And that's right where you want it. So I'm gonna take this off the heat. We're gonna give it a taste. And then finish it with white pepper. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside, check the temperature on that oil. I'm looking to see the bubbles in the pot kind of decrease in size as it fries. It means that the water is evaporating, and of course also the color of the chips. So once these are out, we're gonna season them while they're hot. Take a little bit of the onion soubise. Soft-boiled egg. Take a little bird's peak knife here. Some platinum etc. caviar. This is cherry with smoked salt. Season the egg, and then a little bit of sweet potato vinegar. So the best way to do this is actually it's a little sacrilegious, but it's to mix the caviar with everything else on the plate. Ugly delicious, right? Yeah, great.